The Gilded Age Season 4 is shaping up to be the most explosive and emotionally charged chapter yet. And honestly, it feels like everything Bertha Russell has fought for might finally come crashing down. For years, we've watched her climb the golden ladder of New York's elite, step by ruthless step. But now, for the first time ever, it seems like her empire might not survive the season. The whispers are already spreading about betrayal, heartbreak, and revenge. About power slipping from Bertha's perfectly gloved hands. And if the rumors are true, this season won't just challenge her position in society, it will completely redefine it. So let's dive deep into what's coming next, because the Gilded Age Season 4 isn't just another elegant chapter, it's a declaration of war between love and ambition. As the new season begins, we pick up right where Season 3 left off. The Russell family torn between triumph and tragedy. Bertha stands victorious in society, but defeated in her marriage. George's cold distance still lingers in every glance, every word left unsaid between them. The cracks in their once powerful partnership have turned into an emotional chasm, and even though Bertha refuses to show weakness, the pain behind her smile says it all. Season 4 promises to explore this fragile balance between pride and heartbreak. And if we know Bertha, she won't go down without a fight. Insiders claim the first few episodes will peel back her facade, showing the loneliness that comes with having everything except the one thing she truly wants, George's love. And that's where the real drama begins. Because as Bertha struggles to win him back, a new rival will quietly enter the picture. Someone dangerous, cunning, and more than willing to exploit George's growing resentment. This mysterious woman is rumored to be someone from George's business circle, possibly connected to the investigation into his shooting. While George devotes himself to finding out who tried to end his life, he might unknowingly allow someone else to infiltrate his heart. And that's where things take a dark turn. Bertha's instincts will pick up the change immediately. She's too smart not to notice when another woman starts orbiting her husband. But what makes this situation so twisted is that Bertha can't simply confront her. This isn't some social climber she can destroy with a single snide remark at a dinner table. This woman has influence, power, and she understands George in a way Bertha never could. The tension between these Meanwhile, the rest of the Russell family won't have it any easier. Gladys' pregnancy will introduce its own share of complications, not only physically, but socially. The new season will highlight how motherhood changes her relationship with both her husband and her parents. There are whispers that Bertha will try to use her daughter's position to restore her image as the perfect society matron, hosting lavish gatherings and emphasizing the Russell family's legacy. But underneath that golden veneer, Gladys will begin to rebel. She'll refuse to be treated like a pawn in her mother's endless pursuit of prestige. And honestly, this might be one of the most heartbreaking storylines yet, because for the first time, Bertha will have to face what her ambition has truly cost her. Not just George, but her children's trust as well. George, on the other hand, will find himself at a crossroads between business loyalty and emotional betrayal. Still recovering from his near-fatal encounter, he'll start realizing that surviving that gunshot wasn't just a miracle. It was a warning, a sign that his empire and his family could collapse at any moment. That paranoia will drive him toward dangerous alliances and questionable decisions, some of which might even lead him back to the person responsible for his attack. And here's where the show is rumored to throw us the biggest curveball of the season. The person behind George's shooting might not be who we think it is. Some fans believe it's connected to his rivals in the railroad industry, but others suspect that it might be someone much closer to home, a betrayal that could shatter the Russell family forever. If there's one thing the Gilded Age has always done perfectly, it's building tension in silence. Those moments when a single look between characters says more than an entire speech ever could. And Season 4 will take that tension to new heights. Every glance between George and Bertha, every polite smile at a crowded ballroom will carry hidden meaning. Every word will have weight. And for us viewers, it'll be a masterclass in storytelling. Elegant on the surface, but full of cracks underneath. The show will make us question, can love survive ambition, or is power the only thing that truly lasts in a world built on gold? And while all of this unfolds, the rest of New York will keep watching, waiting for the next scandal to erupt. Because in the Gilded Age, gossip is just as powerful as money. The battle for influence will spread beyond the Russell household, into ballrooms, newspapers, and business circles, turning every social gathering into a silent war zone. And at the center of it all stands Bertha Russell, a woman who refuses to be forgotten, even as the world around her starts to crumble. As Bertha tries to maintain her grip on New York's elite, she'll quickly realize that influence isn't something you can hold on to forever, especially when society begins to turn its back on you. The new season is expected to explore how fragile power truly is, even for someone as determined as Bertha Russell. Once celebrated as the queen of grand balls and unstoppable ambition, she'll start noticing the whispers, the ones that echo through drawing rooms and around gossip columns. People who once begged for her approval will now question her choices, especially as rumors about George's emotional distance start spreading. And the most painful part? Bertha's rivals won't have to lift a finger. Her downfall will begin from within her own circle. Former allies, once loyal to her charm and fortune, will start shifting their loyalties toward fresher faces, newer names, and younger contenders ready to replace the Russell legacy. It's the same society she helped build, now turning against her without mercy. But don't think for a second that Bertha will go down quietly. No, she's far too calculating for that. Every ounce of her pride, every lesson she learned clawing her way to the top, will come into play as she plans her comeback. Expect her to use every bit of strategy she has, from aligning with powerful new families to manipulating public perception through charity events and press influence. Yet, beneath all that glittering control, there's a growing sense of desperation. This isn't the confident Bertha we've seen before. This is a woman at war with her own reflection, trying to convince herself that she still holds the world in her hands, even as it slips away. And the writers are going to make us feel that. Every glance she takes into a mirror, every trembling pause before a smile, will tell us she's terrified of what's coming next. Because for the first time, Bertha Russell doesn't just fear losing status, she fears losing herself. Meanwhile, the tension between George and Bertha will reach a point of no return. Their home, once a symbol of unity and success, will turn into a silent battlefield. Conversations will grow colder, dinner tables quieter. Every argument will feel like a negotiation for survival. George's resentment, which has been quietly brewing, will finally erupt in moments that will leave fans stunned. His words will cut deep, exposing all the emotional wounds that Bertha refused to acknowledge. And just when it seems like they might find common ground, George will make a decision that changes everything. Rumors suggest he'll begin to consider separating their financial and social lives, a move that would essentially strip Bertha of the power she's built through his name. It's a betrayal she never thought possible, not because of love, but because of pride. After all, in her mind, the Russell name is her creation. To lose control of that would be like losing her identity entirely. As the season unfolds, the walls around Bertha will start closing in. Every victory she once celebrated will begin to feel hollow. The grand mansion, the glittering parties, the lavish gowns, all of it will start to lose meaning when she realizes that admiration doesn't equal love. The gossip columns, which once praised her, will start printing stories about her so-called coldness and unfeminine ambition. It's the kind of public humiliation Bertha has feared her entire life, and yet she will refuse to show any cracks. On the outside, she'll continue to host the most exquisite dinners, command every conversation, and smile for the cameras of society. But behind those golden doors, she'll be falling apart. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of Season 4 will be watching Bertha alone, stripped of the affection she's craved, surrounded only by her trophies of success that now mean nothing. For a woman who's built her empire on appearances, losing control of her image is worse than losing her wealth. And that's exactly the kind of emotional devastation that will define her arc this season. Meanwhile, the mysterious new woman connected to George will step more boldly into the spotlight. She'll start as a quiet ally, someone offering him comfort and advice during his investigation, but it won't take long before that professional bond begins to blur. The two will share long, charged conversations about loyalty, justice, and integrity, things George once shared with Bertha but lost along the way. This new character's presence will awaken something in him that's been dormant for years, the feeling of being truly understood. But what makes it all the more tragic is that she won't just be a threat to his marriage, she'll become the key to unlocking the mystery behind his attempted assassination. Whether she's involved directly or hiding someone else's secret remains unclear. But by mid-season, fans will start to suspect that George's growing trust in her might be the biggest mistake of his life. Every interaction between them will drip with tension, part desire, part danger, and the show will make us question where his heart truly lies. As for Bertha, she'll catch wind of this new woman soon enough, and that's when her transformation will begin. The Bertha we'll see in Season 4 will be far more ruthless than before, but also more human. She won't just fight to keep her status, she'll fight to protect what's left of her heart. Expect to see her orchestrate some of the most strategic moves in Gilded Age history, powerful alliances, whispered deals, and daring manipulations that could either save her or destroy her for good. She'll even consider partnering with her old rival, Mrs. Winterton, in a shocking twist that no one saw coming. The two women might share mutual hatred, but their desperation for relevance could unite them in unexpected ways. And while fans will despise the idea of Bertha lowering herself to such a partnership, it will also highlight her greatest strength, her refusal to give up, no matter the cost. In a world ruled by appearances, survival often demands unlikely alliances. Oscar's storyline will also take a darker, more tragic turn this season. His decision to align himself with Mrs. Winterton will begin to backfire almost immediately. At first, he'll think he's gaining influence, that their partnership will make him untouchable in society. But soon he'll realize that Mrs. Winterton's ambitions are far more dangerous than his own. She'll manipulate him at every turn, slowly isolating him from his allies, using his secrets against him. The more he tries to regain control, the deeper he'll sink into her web. What's most haunting about Oscar's arc is that we'll start to see his charm unravel. The confident, smooth-talking gentleman will begin to crack, revealing a man consumed by fear, regret, and loneliness. His storyline will serve as a cautionary tale, proof that in the Gilded Age, even the cleverest social climbers can fall from grace. And when Oscar finally realizes the full extent of Mrs. Winterton's deceit, it might be too late to escape her grasp. Meanwhile, Peggy's story will continue to grow in depth and strength. While much of New York society is collapsing under the weight of its own corruption, Peggy will stand tall as one of the few characters truly grounded in integrity. Her upcoming marriage to Dr. Kirkland will be a test not just of love, but of courage. The racial and class tensions surrounding them will create obstacles neither of them could have predicted. Kirkland's mother will become more ruthless, using every bit of influence she has to humiliate Peggy in public and pressure her son into reconsidering the engagement. But what she won't anticipate is how unbreakable Peggy's spirit has become. Every insult and act of prejudice will only make her stronger, more determined to claim her place in a world that constantly underestimates her. By the midpoint of Season 4, the cracks in every character's life will be too wide to ignore. The Russell Empire, once unshakable, will begin to crumble from the inside out. The whispers in society will turn into headlines, and the once invincible Bertha Russell will become a cautionary tale whispered about in drawing rooms and dinner tables. But what makes this season so powerful is that Bertha won't be destroyed by an outside force. Her downfall will come from the very things that once made her unstoppable: pride, control, and obsession. Each move she makes to restore her reputation will push her further into isolation. She'll try to prove her power by hosting another grand ball, something meant to remind New York that she still reigns supreme. But instead, it will backfire spectacularly. The guest list will be shorter, the compliments colder, and the atmosphere full of invisible judgment. Everyone will smile to her face, but behind her back, they'll be talking about the woman who climbed too high and fell too hard. And yet, even in her lowest moments, Bertha's determination will burn brighter than ever. She'll refuse to admit defeat, even when George begins spending more time away from home. Each night he doesn't return will haunt her, but she'll force herself to act as if nothing's wrong, showing up to luncheons and charity galas with her head held high, pretending that the world still revolves around her. Inside, though, she'll be unraveling. There's a certain kind of pain that only the powerful feel, the pain of realizing that you've become irrelevant. And Bertha will feel that sting in every scene, every silence, every polite rejection. Still, there's something almost tragic about her resilience, because even when everything around her starts to fall apart, she'll never stop believing that one grand gesture, one brilliant maneuver, can fix it all. It's what makes her both infuriating and inspiring, a woman who refuses to surrender, even when surrender might be the only way to survive. Meanwhile, George's investigation into his assassination attempt will finally uncover shocking truths. The more he digs, the more he'll realize that the conspiracy against him runs deeper than business rivalry. There's money missing, contracts forged, and names that lead to people he once trusted. And in a moment that will shake the season to its core, he'll discover that one of his closest advisors, someone who has been at his side for years, was secretly working against him. The betrayal will cut deep, not just because of the deception, but because it will reveal how fragile his empire really is. Everything he's built could collapse overnight if the truth comes out. And just when he thinks he's pieced the mystery together, a new clue will point him toward an even darker possibility: that the attack on his life might not have been about money at all. Some fans speculate that this new revelation will tie directly to the mysterious woman in his life, suggesting that she may have manipulated events from the shadows for her own hidden motives. Whether she's acting out of revenge, ambition, or something else entirely, her true nature will be one of the biggest twists of the season. While all of this plays out, the younger generation of the Gilded Age world will start to forge their own paths, creating a sharp contrast to their parents' obsession with power. Marion and Larry's relationship will grow stronger, even as external pressures try to tear them apart. Their love story will be filled with quiet defiance, two people trying to build a life that isn't dictated by wealth or reputation. Marion, in particular, will begin to stand up to Bertha in ways no one ever has before. Their conversations will be laced with tension, not hatred, but truth. Marion will say the things everyone else is too afraid to say out loud, forcing Bertha to confront the reality she's been avoiding. And slowly, something unexpected will happen. Bertha will start to see herself in Marion. The younger woman's courage and honesty will remind her of who she used to be before the hunger for approval consumed her. It won't be an instant redemption. Nothing in Bertha's world ever is. But it will plant the seed of reflection that could eventually save her from complete ruin. On the other side of town, Peggy and Dr. Kirkland's wedding preparations will face escalating opposition. Kirkland's mother will grow more manipulative, inviting members of high society to advise her son on what's proper and respectable, hoping to publicly humiliate Peggy into walking away. But instead of crumbling, Peggy will fight back with grace and intelligence. She'll begin writing a new column, one that subtly exposes the hypocrisy of New York's upper class, the same people who preach morality while secretly drowning in scandal. Her words will cause a quiet stir, inspiring those around her and earning respect even from people who once dismissed her.